that I thought was a significant event, and at first blush it seems to me that, and I'd like to maybe not get involved in it today, but I think we should open up this conversation and see if there's any possibility or significance for us to actually do this and join this lawsuit. I do think it's relevant to the whole case to point out that we are being harmed by this. I think that needs to be part of the court proceedings. But I am, of course, I have zero legal experience, and but I do think it's something to have a conversation about and perhaps proceed with if it makes sense. And Ryan, I got your comment about Brian Sells being the plaintiff's representatives. This is just one of those curveball things. We're going to have to figure it all out if we go that route. So that's one of the questions. And so I'm just going to leave it like that. I would like to know if anybody else here has any comments about this. Just at first blush, not anything that I just want to get first impressions. I find it something that's worthy of our consideration. So would anybody else like to say something about that? Say something about the possibility of us joining with the Secretary of State in this lawsuit?
Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, at the very least, I would think even if we don't take the side of the Secretary of State per se, or at least if there can be some, I don't know if an amicus brief is the right terminology. Again, not a lawyer, but some kind of way to inform the court that their decision has impact that they might not have been informed of through any other party. So that I would think that might be a sensible step at least. But again, we need a lawyer.
Hey, this is Scott. Just for whatever it's worth, filing an amicus brief doesn't make you a party to the case. You request leave of court to file a brief, and then in your brief you can explain your position on it. And they read amicus briefs. I mean, I actually worked for an appellate judge one year. That was my first legal job, and we would read them. We would read all the briefs filed, including amicus briefs in a case. But that doesn't mean joining the lawsuit. Joining the lawsuit would mean that you would become a party to the case. I would say I haven't really reflected on it since I just heard this, but certainly to show standing to sue, you have to show that you have a harm, that could be redressed by a favorable result in the case. So I think we would have standing to join with the Secretary of State in the lawsuit, because we would benefit from having the election go forward. I assume that's the relief they're seeking, and what we would seek. As far as what practical result, we would get, I don't know. It would depend on how long it took them. We had some back and forth on base camp about, how long it would take for something like this to unwind. And, unless they got like an injunction or something like that would let the election go forward as it is, I don't know if we would get a favorable result. And I guess other than that, you'd have to look at what the financial commitment of joining the lawsuit would be. That would matter. So those are just some considerations for, as I say, for whatever they're worth category.
Go ahead, Mr. McKinney.
I'm happy to, sign my name to whatever y'all come up with, either, working with or against the Secretary of State. I think the other point that we need to make is that the public service commissioners that didn't get elected on the last go round are still in office for the last, year and a half. Almost, it's going to be 2 years by the time we potentially have another election. And they're just sitting there in their office unelected. It's kind of ridiculous.
Mr. Barker. Did you want to speak or?
Damn it. Sorry about that.
No.
Not having gotten into the weeds on this, what is there about the Secretary of State's lawsuit that we would not be in favor of if we were to join it? Well, it sounds like, do we need to really look into the details of that lawsuit before we decide whether we're going to be a party of it?
It's probably a wise thing to do. I know I've read a good portion of it. There's nothing I see in it that I look at and say, nah, I don't think we could be on it. But I think this is all very preliminary and a point to kind of think through and decide on, kind of have some conversations about. But the idea of an amicus brief or being a party to the lawsuit both sound promising.
Yeah.
And like Brian says, we would need legal counsel. So we can use some of our internal resources for some of that. And then at some point we would need to decide if we wanted to make the jump onto it. And then obviously,
what do you think for like a next step? Do we just kind of get a thread going in base camp and folks can, go ahead and look at the lawsuit? I'm sure it's online somewhere, right? Read through it and see what they think. We can have some, a thread going about it with some back and forth, and then maybe by our next meeting, actually have, some agreement of what direction we may or may not want to go. What do you think?
Sure. Mr. Mosley, would you want to take that on? Or Mr. Allen, either one?
Yeah, it's just starting a thread,
Well,
but I think it's incumbent upon a number of people on this call to, on their own, look through and read and comment.
Yeah, for sure. I think just starting the thread and getting the like a link to the lawsuit itself, and
That's
the
all we need to
either
start
pacer or court listener.
with. Yes.
So, one of you guys want to take it?
Yeah, just I guess that would be on me. So it'll be a few days for me to get my act together to say something intelligent. But I do have a question.
If you just start with a link to the brief, then we can all get intelligent.
Okay. I do have a question for Scott. This is a procedural question, I think. Scott, is joining a lawsuit like this, is that something that we can do independently of whatever the Secretary of State has been doing? Or do we have to go in there and get their permission to be involved?
No, you don't need.
Can you give us some insight on that?
Yeah, you just need the court's permission. So what you do is you'd file a motion to intervene in the lawsuit as a plaintiff, and then you would show why. So you would show, these are the things we have, these are our objections to what's going on, and this is why we're being harmed, and this is the relief that we seek, So, and then the court decides if it's appropriate for us to be joined to the lawsuit as plaintiffs. So it sounds like the Secretary of State would like to have more plaintiffs, but we don't need his okay to do that.
Understand. Thank you, Scott. All right. So guys, I'll see what I can do to get a thread started here. in the next few days, and we'll start running with that and see where it goes. And that's all I have today. I just wanted to mainly wanted to share with you these numbers from the U.S. Senate race. Y'all go look at them yourself, and we've had some pretty favorable results over time, and that's just getting me more excited in the possibility here for us. I think it may be that just some serious focused action is what we need to do, and getting started is what we need to do to push this to the next step. So that's all I have, and I'll leave it at that unless there are questions.
Hearing none, we will move on to Mr. Varnell for a social media policy update.
I sent it to Zane, but other than that, I don't have anything to add.
Yes, I'll be starting to share that here now.
Mr. Varnell, did you want to make a motion on it?
No, I don't really mind one way or the other. I was just tasked with writing it, so I did.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any debate? I guess the hands up are the debate. Mr. Graham and Mr. Dolan.
Yeah, well, I don't think we can see the whole thing. Yeah, that was to debate. But I'm going to make a motion to table this until our April meeting so that we have time to look at it and, maybe even put forth some or understand what we're looking at so that we can know if we need to make any amendments or anything.
Second.
Okay, what I hear is a motion to postpone this to the next meeting, which will be
the next regular meeting, so April.
Yeah, April the 8th. And it's been seconded. Is there any debate? Please remember that debating a postponement is just on the merits of postponement and not on the motion itself. Mr. Barker?
I agree with Ryan. There is merits to postponement. We need to read through this and understand it a lot better than we could do in tonight's video chat.
Okay.
Whoops, wrong button.
Mr. Dolan?
Oh, I was just going to say the same.
Okay. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, we will close discussion and take this to a vote. Those in favor of postponing this motion to the next regular XCOM meeting, which will be April 8th, please raise your hand. Okay, I see 10. Y'all can lower your hands. Those opposed? All right, you can lower those. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and this is postponed until next month.
Appreciate you putting the document together for us. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is filling the XCOM vacancies.
Thank you. I was like going to pull it up. Yes, the next item of business is filling the XCOM vacancies. So what we do is we send out an email and request the people who want to be on it to submit their names. Do we have those names available, the ones who have already submitted themselves for that?
Yes. The names are Earl Fisher, Jeffrey Scholl, Stephen Phillips, and Melanie Pierce.
Okay.
Point of information.
Yes, sir.
Where was this? This was sent out in email, or where was this sent out for?
The request email.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will hear a nomination for those 4 people we said they are. And we're filling 2 vacancies. Mr. Allen?
Yeah, point of information. Do we have the membership status of the potential nominees?
We can check them real quick.
I can check on that. I'm not sure if I can quickly check on that, but I will do that while the nominees who are here will be talking.
Okay, so for the sake of time, I will hear a nomination for them, and then we can confirm membership in the meantime, and then we'll just... Mr. Richards?
I nominate Steve Phillips.
Okay. Steve Phillips.
Is on the call.
Is he? Oh, there he is. Look at that. Sorry. Mr. Allen?
Yeah, I move to allow the nominees to speak to their nomination.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any debate? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Point of order. Sorry I didn't get to this earlier, but I don't think we need a motion for this given that it's in the policy manual that they're allowed to speak.
Okay. That's fine. I think we're moving to that point. Without objection, the 4 people who have put their name in are nominated, and then we'll move to letting them go in an order. I didn't say those opposed, but those opposed to the last deal, letting them speak to it, please, no one. Okay. Christine, your hand is still up. There we go. Okay. All right, we'll start with the first one I see is Earl Fisher. We'll start there, then we'll go to Steve Phillips. We have 2 more. Who are they? They are Jeffrey Scholl and
Melanie Pierce.
Melanie Pierce. Okay, so we'll start with these 2 who are on the call.
Hi, my name is Earl Fisher. I have not paid my dues yet, but I will get that taken care of in the next 24 hours, whether or not I'm nominated. I was a Republican before Trump, and
Thank you. All right. Steve Phillips, I think it's on to you.
How y'all doing? I'm Steve Phillips, a member of the party for a number of years now, and just hope to help the party in any way I can.
Perfect. Okay. We have 4 people who've been nominated, 2 people who have spoken. What we'll do with this is we'll take it to a vote through Open Vote. Mr. Mosley.
Yeah, are we going to get an opportunity to actually speak for? I would like to speak for Jeffrey Schul, if I could,
Sure.
if that's
Yeah,
permitted.
absolutely. Yes, I will allow it.
Okay, so I just wanted to make the body aware that Jeffrey Schul has been a member. He's been involved with us for at least 2 years. I don't know exactly how long he's actually his activity extends beyond that, but he has been chairing the bylaws committee for 2 years in a row. So he's taken on significant responsibility, and I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. I know that he works a lot of nights, and nights are difficult for him to get here, but he has been with us for a while. That's the main point I wanted to make. And I think he's a really good guy and worthy of your vote. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Mosley. Mr. Allen?
Yes, I move to vote via single transferable ballot on Open Vote after the meeting, since we have 2 positions to fill.
Okay. Is there a second?
Mr. Point of order. Filling 2 positions via 1 single transferable vote election would actually be in violation of our bylaws, because when you fill multiple vacancies with STV, it allows someone to be elected with a threshold of over 1/3 of the votes, whereas our bylaws say that a majority of votes of the executive committee is needed to fill a vacancy. So our options, assuming we want to only have 1 vote and not 2, would be approval voting, where you would vote for all of the candidates for which you approve, or something I found called waterfall STV, where you have an STV vote, you elect 1 person, and then you recount the ballots as if the first person that won had not run at all, and then you would elect the second person using the STV method as well.
The point of order is well taken. Mr. Allen, would you like to offer an alternative motion?
No, I'll let someone else make it.
Mr. Placey?
I move to fill the 2 XCOM vacancies with approval voting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to fill our XCOM vacancies using approval voting. Is there any discussion, debate? Ms. Austin?
Just a point of order. I'm not sure that we've ended the discussion. And then we were in the middle of discussion about the candidates, and I think we need to finish that. And I have a couple of points to make there. One is there anybody who can speak for Melanie, Melinda, whoever the 4th person was? And secondly, it seems like Mr. Fisher has indicated that he's not qualified as a non-member to serve on the executive committee. And I would encourage him to become a member before attempting to obtain a position on the board. That was it.
Point of order is well taken. Is there anyone who'd like to speak for Melanie?
I can just read the comment that she left on the forum. It says, I am willing to serve so that the board is filled and ready for 2024. Our country is ready for a new idea, and the time to share the party's stance is pressing as we face war, more taxes, and loss of even more private sector jobs, as well as individual rights by the hands of the state. If I can help do something to inhibit more gross power seizure and create new passion for America, then I would be honored to serve. Let me see. She says, I've been a member of both uniparties and absolutely believe this is the most attractive pro-America party. I served as president of my HOA after turning over the entire board so we could reduce our budget and include community interest. My brother and I ran successful homelessness coat drive in Atlanta for 5 years. I'm willing to learn and put down my own boots on Georgia ground to share the message of individual rights and the pursuit of sovereignty. I have served in many capacities, but most exciting before me is the possibility of being able to work on this board. Thank you, Melanie B. Pierce.
Okay, Mr. Placey.
I have checked the CRM and confirmed that Mr. Phillips and Mr. Schull are both members, but it would appear that Miss Pierce is not currently a member.
Okay. I'm going to dig into our bylaws really quick. Okay, so the bylaws in Article 4, Section A1A, B, members at large elected by the delegates at an annual convention. And so with that being said, I do think it would be a violation of our bylaws, Mr. Fisher, to allow you to do this, to be on this. Unless we could do that right now, like Elizabeth said, I would like for it to be proper and done correctly. Ms. Austin, you're on mute. To elect the two who are members, Jeffrey Schull and Steve Phillips. Is there any debate? I see two hands up. Mr. Graham?
Yeah, mine's more point of parliamentary, whatever. Can we, I mean, these people have already been nominated. Can we just then like go back and only nominate two of them? I don't know if that's possible.
Rescinding a nomination?
Yeah. Well, and that wasn't the motion, I don't think.
If I may, Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I
sir.
think it would be a reasonable interpretation, given that a qualification for the office would be to be a current member, that they were not ever validly nominated, and so it wouldn't really be unnominating them.
Okay. I am going to, you'll give me just a second. Stand at ease, and I'm going to come up with a decision for you. I hate to be that guy, but I want to do things right.
I would also advise Ms. Austin that technically this motion would require a suspension of the policy manual because the policy manual does say that. Actually, let me pull the switch tabs. Right. So the policy manual says that upon closure of nominations, the executive committee will conduct elections in a manner chosen by the executive committee, provided it is consistent with the LPGA bylaws and the policy manual. Actually, now that I'm reading the entire thing out loud, I thought that it required us to go to OPA vote afterwards, but it actually doesn't. So your motion is fine as it is. I apologize.
Okay. I'm going to take the suggestion from Mr. Placey and say that we're going to just call the two validly nominated candidates validly nominated, and we will go with Ms. Austin's motion. It is currently on the floor. The prior motion that was made by Mr. Placey was taken off the floor because of a point of order. So we are currently in the debate portion of the electing these two to the executive committee. Is there any debate on the motion to have just those two and bring them onto the board tonight? Hearing none, the motion on the floor is to accept the two validly nominated candidates as executive committee members and to make them members of the executive committee. Is there any further debate? Okay. Those in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I see 8 in favor, 9 in favor, 10. Those opposed.
Yes, I'm seeing 10.
All right, I see 3. All right. The motion, the ayes have it. The motion carries. Steve Phillips and Jeffrey Shull are now executive committee members. And Earl, if you want, I'm going to put my phone number in the chat. If you want to give me a call in the next week, feel free. I'd love to. Hold on, let me try that again. You want to give me a call and just see if we can get you connected? That would be a really awesome chance for us to just get to know each other and see how we can get you connected and involved. All right, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a point of information. Is it not true that there are other committees that Mr. Fisher could help with, and we would be more than happy to have his help?
Yes, that is 100% true. We have quite a few. Mr. Mosley is plugging his ballot access meeting, I believe, on March 12th, which is where we're talking about how to get our people on the ballot, keep them on the ballot. We have the Bedrock ballot access meeting. Don't let me get it wrong. And we have several other ones, the Public Policy Committee, which is where we're doing a lot of researching bills, seeing what's going through the House and the Senate at the state level, and creating a legislative agenda, trying to lobby. You've heard some of that. And yeah, there's a lot of different ones, convention and finance, treasury committee, fundraising. Y'all are going to kill me because I'm going to forget them all since I'm on the spot. But yes, we do have those things. So thank you for the question, Mr. Allen. And Steve says convention needs a lot of help. Okay, Mr. Mosley.
I just wanted to speak to Mr. Fisher and maybe indirectly to the lady, I believe her name was Melanie, if she ever gets the message. There's plenty of things to do. You have contact information for both Jared and myself. We put in the chat. And getting involved with us and actually doing things and creating a history with us is the way to get the support to actually organically move into leadership positions like the XCOM. So, so just so that you know, I particularly welcome you, and I think I speak for everybody else here, is that we're glad you're here. We're glad you're showing an interest, and there's innumerable ways for you to be involved. I hope to see you soon. My email is in the chat if you want to reach out. That's all. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate all the help through that one. That was a little complicated. but we made it through. All right. We have a resolution to establish goals for the 2024 and 2025 session. That's going to come from Mr. Allen.
Yes, I move the adoption of the following resolution. Whereas on February 12th, 2024, the Executive Committee adopted a resolution to acknowledge and act in accordance with the stated purpose of the Libertarian Party of Georgia. And whereas the resolution states the Executive Committee shall establish clear goals and plans for fulfilling each of the state objectives in a resolution to direct the Executive Committee to acknowledge and act in accordance with the stated purpose of the Libertarian Party of Georgia. And whereas the resolution further states that the Executive Committee shall report on the success of each goal at the 2025 State Convention. And whereas the Executive Committee met for its annual in-person strategy meeting on March 9th, 2024 in Forsyth, Georgia, and had a thorough discussion regarding goals and plans for the upcoming year. Therefore, be it resolved that the Executive Committee of the Libertarian Party of Georgia establishes the following goals. 1. Hold 1 affiliate support workshop. And 2. Reactivate 2 inactive affiliates. And 3. Have 7 active affiliates set goals for specific achievements by June and then make progress towards meeting those goals. And 4. Hold 3 in-person events and 2 virtual events at the state level. And 5, have affiliates or groups of affiliates host 3 tabling events. And 6, obtain 100,000 votes for the Libertarian candidate for president in the November election. And 7, call everyone in the Civi CRM database who lapsed in the previous 2 years. And 8, hold 2 Civi CRM trainings and have affiliates call people within their regions. And 9, develop standard campaign websites and materials. And 10, create and or update a candidate manual. And 11, host ongoing candidate trainings. And 12, send 2 emails per month with membership information asks. And 13, send a number of ad hoc emails for anyone who reaches out with a request. And 14, send 12 press releases. And 15, complete a legislature report card. And 16, bring 2 pieces of model legislation to legislators. And 17, monitor legislation and provide monthly reports.
Is there a second?